Coming up, authorities respond to a tractor-trailer fire on I-49.
Skywatch storm tracker showing a few stray showers out there, but considerably more quiet than yesterday. Your full forecast coming up.
And we'll have how one man helps international students feel at home just by giving them rides to Walmart.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. So, boy, talk about a light show from Mother Nature. If you were from about Joplin South last night, man, not a severe storm, not even really a strong storm by definition. Very electrical, though.
Yeah.
That was impressive. I was thoroughly impressed. That's the kind of storm I like. It doesn't have to be severe. It doesn't have to, be blowing winds of 90 miles an hour. But it's just a good thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm. And like when I left the TV station in the afternoon, it just dumped on me on the way back to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, I remember looking north because, I live in Joplin, so heading south, I looked north, and boy, that sky was just as dark could be. And that's what happened with that storm yesterday is as it moved in about 5:30, it got really dark, really fast, dark enough the street lights came on at 5:30, and man, it just let loose there for a few minutes. It was rain that we very, very, very much needed. The good news is, if you're not a big fan of all that, it's going to be considerably quieter today. Now, the Skywatch storm tracker shows a few showers out there, and we're keeping an eyeball on this little guy, but he's dying out as he moves into the northern portion of our area, and that's really about the only thing out there. Now, we are dealing with some fog, as you can see on the fog tracker, thanks to all that rain. We got some dense fog out there, so if you are driving, do be careful. Use your fog beams, not your high beams, and just take it safe, take it slow. Right now in Joplin, temperatures looking good, 68 degrees under clear skies. Temperatures looking good across the area, 69 in Yates Center, 71 in Chanute, 70 Columbus, 67 in Neosho. And look, we are upwards of 10 to 12 degrees cooler this morning than we were yesterday morning. As kids get on the bus about 7 a.m., it's going to be 66. We got mostly cloudy skies as the fog burns off, and skies will clear out a bit, partly cloudy by 3 o'clock and 88. We're going to take a look at what the rest of the day holds and our next chances for rain here in just a few minutes.
All right, because we can always use more rain.
We certainly could, and it's nice that we're getting it spread out and not just all at once, so that helps a lot too. Yeah,
that's for sure, especially since it's been so dry. If it does just all come at once, half of it just runs away anyway.
Yeah, and then we end up instead with flash flooding instead of the ground absorbing the rain that it desperately needs. So
that is very true. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife, and when they found her, she was with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered from a cut to his neck, and they say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. Authorities respond yesterday afternoon to a tractor-trailer fire along I-49 near the Bella Vista bypass. They say the tractor-trailer became fully engulfed in flames, where it then spread across both southbound lanes. Traffic along I-49 was completely stopped, and it moved to US 71. The tractor-trailer was carrying cardboard. Missouri Southern is beginning its second week of the school year, and since President Biden announced the student debt relief plan last week, the school says it's getting inquiries from students trying to find how they can benefit from it.
I mean, for me, I'm going to be a doctor, so I think we're missing out on a lot of our future doctors, future nurses, fill in the blank, just because they can't hack student loans.
For more information on the student debt relief plan, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Nevada's Senior Behavioral Health Center has reopened after 2 years of being closed. The center is one of a few psychiatric centers in the state of Missouri. Workers there say with 8 new beds and cameras, they're ready to keep safety the #1 priority. And they specialize in patients ages 55 and older.
It's a tempo of care that I personally enjoy, and I know other staff here does as well, but just being able to provide psychiatric care for that population has always been something that I've believed in. There's a need for, and so we're trying to extend that care for those patients.
The center will start taking patients September 1st. Little Balkans Days kicks off. It's a week-long celebration in Pittsburgh to celebrate the region's diverse cultural and ethnic heritage. Events every night from lots of music, tons of food, and dancing are just to name a few that's happening. Also, the first home football game for PSU is this Thursday night. Planning for the event never stops.
So we start in October. We take November and December as kind of those thinking months to see what we're going to keep, what we're going to change, and then we hit the ground running in January. So it's a year-round activity.
Little Balkans Days ends this Sunday, September 4th. And there are several ethnic foods that also tell some history. On Monday, folks could learn how to cook some of that food through the Little Balkans Cooking School. It was a hands-on experience with samples and recipes included.
Well, we're having our very first hands-on cooking school tonight, so I've been looking forward to this because I love to cook. So I'm happy to see this come to fruition.
Cooking School organizers hope to make this an annual event during Little Balkans Days. Several years ago, Joplin resident Ed James asked an international student at Missouri Southern what he would need help with when studying overseas, far away from home. And the answer was simple: transportation to places like the grocery store. Ed and his wife have since taken students to Walmart each week. James, who already has a busy schedule as being a nurse, he wants to make the international students feel that they're cared for, even when overseas.
We just want to make a difference in their life. It's the right thing to do. It's the godly thing to do. But more importantly, if the rest of the world did these things, it'd be a better place.
James and his wife have over 50 students to take to Walmart trips this semester.
Looking at our forecast for today, we are going to hit a high of 93 under partly cloudy skies. Clouds will eventually clear out, leaving us with mostly clear skies, and then they'll build back in a bit this evening. Partly cloudy skies again tonight, an overnight low of 65 degrees, so not bad. 7-day forecast. The good news is some of these temperatures have come down a bit, but it's still going to be hot this week. And as you can see, as we head into Thursday, we've got rain chances building back in. They should clear out Saturday, just in time for you to enjoy the Labor Day weekend.
All right, should be a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Riverton Rams gear up to play their first game on Thursday. We're going to get a sneak peek at how they're planning to aim for a third consecutive trip to the 3A state tournament.
Plus, put up those comfy shoes. High heels are making a comeback.
Chris, I know you like those.
Oh, they're my favorites.
An accidental poisoning by button batteries on the rise. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Yesterday was the opening day of the season for Webb City softball. The Cards hit the road to Nevada yesterday afternoon, taking on the Tigers in game number 1. Nevada has already played 4 games this season, coming into the night with a 2-2 record. Second inning, Tylee Sargent for Webb City sends it to the grass. That scores a run to make it 1-0 Cardinals. Still in the second, Liz Rooms with the bases loaded. One hops the wall out there in left to score. Webb City takes a 3-0 lead. But here comes Nevada. It's 3-1. Kirsten Buck through the left side. That scores a run, and the Tigers are within 1. To the 4th, they would tie the game up. Caden Blake bunts to the pitcher. Great slide from Kara Phillips. We're tied at 3. Ella Hethman, a nice night for Nevada. Here, base hit to left, scores a run. Then Hethman would slam the door in the 6th. Drills it over the fence in left for the solo shot. Nevada gets it done over Webb City, 11-8, the final. This week is game week for Riverton High School volleyball. The Rams will be in action for the first time on Thursday night, playing in Erie. Riverton heads into the season aiming for their 3rd consecutive trip to the 3A state tournament. In addition to that, they have a couple of girls closing in on some big-time career milestones. Senior Morgan Compton has a chance to pass 2,000 career assists this fall, while J.C. Thomason will likely top 2,000 career kills in a Riverton uniform.
I couldn't have done anything without my team. I mean, they're my rock, they're my solid support system. They've been there at the lowest of my moments and the highest of my moments. And Morgan has been nothing but my best friend, and without her, I wouldn't be where I am, and without the rest of my team, I wouldn't be where I am. Without a good set, without a good pass, you can't get a kill.
Freshman year, I wasn't really thinking about that because I was used as a passer. But yeah, it's becoming more important as the years come on. My younger self will definitely be proud of myself right now. And like, I don't know, it's pretty cool because my sisters all made great accomplishments, so it's like pretty cool for me to do that too.
More volleyball news. Missouri Southern senior and former Pittsburgh Purple Dragon Abby Casper earns MIAA recognition yesterday. Casper has been named the league's Defensive Athlete of the Week in 4 games. Casper averaged 4.7 digs per set, also had 5 aces and a 989 return percentage. She helped the Lions go 3-1 at the Southern Invite last weekend. They'll be back in action this Friday in Denton, Texas. St. Louis Cardinals have opened up a 6-game lead in the NL Central. The Cardinals are 74-54 overall and have won 12 of their last 15 games. Last night, they're on the road for Game 1 of a 3-game series against division rival Cincinnati. Multiple rain delays, but as of last night, the Cardinals led it 12-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Tyler O'Neill had 2 homers. Albert Pujols 2-3 with a home run, the 694th homer of his career. They ultimately finished the game off with a score of 13-4. Still to come, we'll have how French grape growers are adjusting to the drought going on in Europe. Plus, another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. All right, so we've got a much quieter day in store for us today, which is good because yesterday, boy, it got a little bit on the loud side. Now, skies will gradually clear out today. And then we're going to get hot, but we remain dry through midweek, and then we're watching the storm chances to start increasing by Thursday. So let's talk about what's going on. Skywatch Storm Tracker doesn't have anything to show us, and that storm we were watching over by Emporia, as you can see, is all but dead. But we do have fog to contend with. We've actually got some pretty dense fog, especially in south central Barton County, north central Jasper County. So if you are out and about, you can see fog is pretty widespread where we got most of that rain. And so you want to definitely take it easy this morning. Plan a little extra time if you've got a distance to commute. 68 in Joplin right now, under clear skies. Temperatures are looking good so far. We've got Chanute at the warm spot at 69, or at 71. I'm getting ahead of myself. 69 in Parsons, 67 in Neosho, and 68 in Anderson. And we are upwards of 10 to 12 degrees cooler this morning than what we were yesterday. If you remember, we started yesterday near 80 degrees. Now, as the kids get on the bus, we're in mostly cloudy skies, about 7 a.m., 66 degrees. When the bus comes back around 3, should be starting to clear out. Partly cloudy skies, 88 with a light northeast breeze. And as we go through today, it's going to be a hot one, but a nice one. 93 by noon, 89 by 5, 81 by 8, afternoon high of 93. Going into tonight, we cool off nicely, 73 at 11, 69 by 2 a.m. with an overnight low of 65 under partly cloudy skies. The future track is where it gets a little fun because it goes blank. Well, you can see we do have decent temperatures showing up on there. I'll have to take a look at that. And we aren't really worried about too much more rain over the next few days, but as we head into Saturday, that's where we're going to have the Saturday. Goodness great. I was just telling Gabe, I am barely awake this morning for some reason. I'm just not here. Thursday is where we start to see rain chances build in. So 93 Wednesday, 95 Friday, and then increasing storm chances, cooling off a bit by the weekend, and then we clear out just in time to enjoy the latter half of the Labor Day weekend. Well, fashion trends come and go, but one item is proving its relevancy even after the pandemic made us crave comfier clothes and footwear. Jackie Ibanez has a look at why high heels are making a comeback.
I feel like $1,000,000 after what I put heels on.
Look out, flats and sneakers. High heels are making a comeback. As the signature click-clack noise is once again echoing throughout offices and streets nationwide.
They want to express themselves more now.
Signaling a move away from the era of comfort clothes ushered in by the pandemic. With COVID-19 restrictions ending, people returning to the office, and postponed events making their way back onto your calendar.
We have seen an uptick in demand for high heels with our customer.
Data collected by market research company the NPD Group highlights the rebounding sales.
In the first half of 2020, the dress high heel business fell about 50% versus 2019. In 2021, it gained back about 1/3 of what it lost as we saw some recovery, but that recovery was muted because COVID was still a major concern at that point. It really wasn't until the first half of 2022 that we saw a real improvement as social calendars filled back up.
But if you think going back to high heels means you have to sacrifice comfort, retail directors say there's plenty of alternatives.
Whether they're wedges, which are making a comeback, or even a lower kitten heel that many customers are gravitating to because it gives them that bit of height and refinement while also not sacrificing what she's been used to over the past 2 years.
Now, although high heel sales are up in dollar value, there's still more work to be done when it comes to unit sales. They're still down by 14% from the pandemic. And that brings us to our something to talk about this morning. What's your favorite kind of shoes to wear? You like sneakers, flats, high heels, boots, maybe something different? We want to hear from you. What's your comfy choice? What's your favorite type? Vote, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Take part in the app and, of course, participate in the discussion on our Facebook page. We're back with Healthwatch right after this.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, a warning for parents. According to a new study, there's been an increase in accidental poisonings of young children involving small lithium batteries. The consequences of a child eating one of these batteries, also known as button batteries, can be fatal. Study found emergency room visits due to battery poisonings were twice as high from 2010 to 2019 compared with 1990 to 2009. That's an average of one battery-related emergency visit every hour and 15 minutes among children under 18. Well, kids younger than 5 were at highest risk, especially toddlers between 1 and 2. When lithium button batteries get stuck in a child's throat, saliva can interact with the current the batteries produce. The chemical reaction can burn the esophagus, even causing erosion into the airway or major blood vessels. President Biden, the First Lady, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and the Late Show host Stephen Colbert all tested positive for COVID-19 a second time after taking the antiviral therapy Paxlovid. So how common is a Paxlovid rebound? In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at what researchers have to say about that and why health experts believe Paxlovid is still a good treatment option.
It's an antiviral pill used to treat COVID-19. As of mid-August in the U.S., the Department of Health and Human Services says about 4 million courses of Paxlovid have been administered, but some people who have taken the antiviral pill are testing positive a second time.
We know that people who are older are more likely to rebound.
Several studies have tracked rebound cases, including a preprint study that looked at cases during the Omicron wave. It found 2 to 4% of patients experienced a rebound infection or symptoms within a week after treatment. 5 to 6% had a rebound within a month. Experts say that rebound cases are probably more common than data shows, but by how much is hard to tell.
But at the end of the day, the rebound, none of the cases that have rebound has ended up having more severe disease or ended up in the hospital. So I still think Paxlovid is an incredibly useful drug.
That's why experts say overall, Paxlovid is still a good option for treatment for people over the age of 65, those who are immunocompromised, or adults who have underlying conditions such as diabetes or heart disease. In a statement, Paxlovid manufacturer Pfizer said, while further evaluation is needed, we continue to monitor data from our ongoing clinical studies. We remain very confident in its clinical effectiveness at preventing severe outcomes from COVID-19 in patients at increased risk.
Both President Biden and Fauci received a second course of Paxlovid to treat their rebound cases. FDA has requested more data from Pfizer to study patients who may need a second course of treatment. And there's some thinking that patients may need to take Paxlovid longer, and the FDA is looking into that. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We are dealing with some fog across the area thanks to yesterday's rain, and you could see a good chunk of the viewing area experiencing fog and even some dense fog parts of Barton and Jasper County. So if you are out driving this morning, make sure you plan and drive safely and with your fog beams on, not your high beams. That won't help you at all. Trust me, I've tried it. It doesn't work. 68 degrees in Joplin right now under otherwise clear skies. Chanute still one of the warm spots at 71, 71 in Welch as well, 70 in Columbus. Now, we are also upwards of 10 to 12 degrees cooler than what we were at this time yesterday. Kids get on the bus, 66 under mostly cloudy skies, and we start start to see partly cloudy skies this afternoon, 88 at 3 o'clock. And as you go through your day, it's going to be a hot one, 93 for the high. Clouds will clear out, leaving us with mostly clear skies. And going into tonight, not bad either. Overnight low of 65, 73 at 11, 69 by 2 a.m. under partly cloudy skies. More of the KOAM Morning News is right after this.
Coming up, authorities respond to a tractor-trailer fire on I-49.
We are clear today on the Skywatch storm tracker, which looks pretty good. We're going to talk about warming temperatures and our next rain chances coming up.
And how one man is helping international students feel at home just by giving them rides to Walmart.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So, I didn't have a fun fact earlier, and I've got to have one. I only know this, it jarred my memory when I was on Facebook this morning. And it turns out, by the way, there's a lot of people on Facebook at 2:30 in the morning, which is kind of surprising. And I wonder what's going on at 2:30 in the morning that's got everyone on Facebook. Or maybe they're just
still awake.
It's either that, or I do know that sometimes, like if you don't close your Messenger app or something, it'll still show you online, even though your phone's off and you're sleeping. Anyway, back to the fun fact. So there was a video from Nickelodeon when SpongeBob was like jamming out with that jellyfish he caught and that cool music and everything. It was talking about how that episode was 23 years ago, and it dawned on me that the summer in between my 5th and 6th grade year is when SpongeBob debuted. That's how old that show is.
23 years I've been hating on SpongeBob now.
I love SpongeBob. I remember seeing the promos for it on Nickelodeon, and I thought, man, this looks like a... Okay, here's the deal, though. I'm also like 12 years old going, this is a really cool looking show. I want to watch this. And then it started, and then all of a sudden I was in middle school, and all the joy and laughter went away. I wasn't excited for middle school.
My kids like SpongeBob. They get to watch him. It seems like every time we go to the dentist, that's what's on, is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's everywhere.
They know that when they go to the dentist, they get to watch SpongeBob because we don't watch it at our house.
You don't know what you're missing out on.
Not a fan of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is great.
Not a fan.
Our forecast is great too. Skywatch Storm Tracker clear. We've been zooming into this spot by Emporia. There was a little storm there, and it is completely gone now. So you could live with that. We got dense fog in some areas around the 4 states, especially in parts of Barton County and a little bit of Jasper County. At 7th and Range Line, where it's sitting otherwise clear skies. Temperature is 68 degrees and not too bad. Welch and Chanute, the warm spots at 71, 69 Yates Center, 68 in Neosho. And we're about 10 to 12 degrees cooler right now than we were yesterday. Bus stop forecast. Kids get on the bus about 7 a.m., 66 with mostly cloudy skies. Skies clear out a little bit, partly cloudy at 3, 88. We're looking for an afternoon high of around 93 degrees, so hot under partly to cloudy to mostly clear skies. So considerably more quiet than it was yesterday. Little break in the action, but there's more action on the way, and we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes because I fixed that future track. For some reason, the one I had earlier was running backwards.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's done that to me a couple of random times, and it's just kind of out of the blue where instead of going into the future, for some reason the clock on it gets messed up, and it starts running backwards and usually goes back about 3 weeks of data.
So now we can go back to the future.
We can go back to the future. If you're interested in what temperatures look like over the last 3 weeks, I'm happy to bring that graphic back up. But otherwise, we'll look at what the next few days has to hold here in the next few minutes.
Sounds like a plan.
We talk about this every morning. We always have a plan.
We try.
We are full of plans. Whether or not they work out again, that's a different story, but we're full of plans.
Yeah, you see something. All right, thanks, Chris. Oh, police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife, and when they find her, she was with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered from a cut to his neck, and they say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. Authorities respond to a tractor-trailer fire yesterday afternoon along I-49 near the Bella Vista bypass. They say the semi became fully engulfed in flames, where it then spread across both southbound lanes. Traffic along I-49 was completely stopped and moved, then diverted to US 71. The tractor-trailer was carrying cardboard. Nevada, Missouri's Senior Behavioral Health Center reopens. Nevada is one of a few senior psychiatric centers in the state of Missouri. It specializes in patients ages 55 and older, but they've been closed for a while.
Our local care providers have to send our patients far away to other counties and even other states to get the kind of health care that we can provide here. So it's really, really good that we're able to do this now.
The center will start taking patients September 1st. Joplin man finds his own way to help international students at Missouri Southern besides hosting them. KOAM's Yana Hadula has more.
A Joplin resident, Ed James, has been taking the international students on Walmart trips every Monday for several years now. It all started with a conversation with an international student.
We need a way to get around. We can't drive. Everything is so far away.
Once Ed James and his wife got the word out about helping internationals get to Walmart, he expected maybe 5 people to show up. However, the first Walmart run gathered more students than they would have ever imagined.
50 students show up, and we were like so overwhelmed. From then on, we were like, okay, yeah, this is important.
It hasn't only been the students who James helped.
International professor that worked here at Missouri Southern who used to ride with me to Walmart runs.
A weekly Facebook sign-up that James invented together with a Missouri Southern employee has made it easier for him and his wife to know how many students are in need of a ride each Monday.
Now we're up to like 4 and 5 trips on a Monday.
The current students appreciate the free trips as they love to cook their own country's foods.
Sometimes I really want to cook something like Korean food or like kind of Japanese food, everything.
The students say the trip does not only help them to get groceries, but also make friendships with other internationals.
Last time Walmart trip, in Eddie's car, I met a lot of friends. I made a friend in his car.
James wants to help international students because his own children did not receive as much help as they could have when studying abroad, and he knows how it feels as a parent. Even though he has a busy life with a big family and being a nurse, he makes time for things that are important for him.
We just want to make a difference in their life. It's the right thing to do. It's the godly thing to do. But more importantly, if the rest of the world did these things, it'd be a better place.
In Joplin, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Well, this semester, James and his wife have over 60 international students that they're taking on Walmart trips on Mondays.
All right, now that we've got the future track moving into the future instead of the past, you can see where it's going to start to get a little bit toasty with some partly cloudy skies over the next couple of days. And as we head into Thursday evening, our next chance of showers and thunderstorms starts to move in. And you can see they're scattered, but they hold on Friday and Saturday before they'll eventually start to clear out by Sunday. And a quick check of that 7-day forecast shows us those chances. So tomorrow, 93, 92 Thursday, 95 on Friday, and then the rain clears out Saturday and leaves us at least a couple of days of the Labor Day weekend that are going to be hot but dry.
Yeah, well, I don't think we want hot or dry anymore.
We don't, but it's like we said.
I guess to enjoy your Labor Day weekend, you need a little break from the rain.
Right, and then we can get some more later, and we'll see what we can do.
Give us cool. We're ready for cool.
It's not
going
to happen.
Or at least warm.
Not going to happen. I mean, we're in September. Well, okay, we're not in September. We're practically in September. And it's still going to be hot.
2 days.
2 days away. It's hard to believe that. Where's this year gone? It's been a crazy year. Very crazy year.
Well, this morning we are discussing one of Chris's favorite obsessions, shoes.
Oh, absolutely. So look out, flats and sneakers. You see, high heels, they're making a comeback. You may recall I ran in these earlier this year for a Freeman benefit. Now, as the signature click-clack noise is once again echoing through offices and streets nationwide, signaling a move away from the era of comfort clothes ushered in by the pandemic. Now, with COVID-19 restrictions ending, people going back to the office, postponed events making their way back onto your calendar. There's some data collected by market research company, the NPD group, that highlights the rebounding sales. But if you think going back to high heels means you have to sacrifice comfort, retail directors say there's plenty of alternatives. And that brings us to our something to talk about. What is your favorite kind of shoe? Is it sneakers, flats, high heels, boots, or maybe something different? Mine are these because they're comfy and they look good and they work out for me when I'm standing all morning long. Make sure you vote at KOAMnewsnow.com. See, she's got some flats.
I can't wear heels.
I got the sneakers.
They make me too tall.
That's her problem. Now that I'm here, she can't wear heels like ever again. So I don't know if that's a thing she doesn't like or if she's all right with that.
I'm okay because we stand for 3 hours straight. So
yeah, heels would kind of kill.
Flats are comfortable.
Vote on our website, do so in the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
That's right. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a boy finds a prehistoric shark tooth while on vacation with his family.
Plus, researchers look to uncover what is believed to be the largest dinosaur skeleton ever found in Europe.
And you're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, nearly 8,500 bike riding protesters rode from Frankfurt to Wiesbaden on Sunday, restricting vehicle access to a section of the Autobahn in the process. The cyclists gathered to call for more public transport options, continuous networks for cycling, wide footpaths, and safe routes to schools. Organizations behind the event reported nearly 70,000 signatures collected by those who support the measures and sent to local government for review. At least one person is dead following a protest at the government palace in Baghdad. The demonstration involved followers of influential Iraqi Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. It evolved after al-Sadr announced he would resign from politics on Monday. Chaos ensued when his followers stormed the palace and Iraqi security forces used tear gas, guns, and physically shoved back crowds. Medical officials say 12 protesters were injured by tear gas and physical altercations with riot police. They've been taken to a local hospital for treatment. And researchers are working to uncover what is believed to be the largest dinosaur skeleton ever found in Europe. Scientists say this dinosaur, found in central Portugal, appears to be about 82 feet long, making it one of the largest skeletons ever recovered there. Researchers at the University of Lisbon say the skeleton is part of a sauropod group, a plant-eating dinosaur characterized by a long neck and tail. And it's likely a Brachiosaurus genus, or an arm lizard in Greek, which lived about 145 million years ago. In Pakistan, exhausted villagers have been helping the injured make their way through muddy floodwaters. The death toll from the widespread flooding that swamped parts of the country since mid-June has now topped 1,000. Heavy rain set off flash flooding that washed away villages and crops. Soldiers and rescue workers have been distributing tents and providing food to thousands of displaced Pakistanis. The unprecedented monsoon season has affected all 4 of the country's provinces. Nearly 300,000 homes have been destroyed. Numerous roads are now impassable, and power outages widespread, affecting millions of people. The tragedy of drought in Europe could ironically bring a triumph for one of France's chief products. This summer, heat has been an enemy to man, but a friend to vineyards and grapes. Harvests normally happen in mid-September, but in the Bordeaux region, they're plucked, crushed, tanked, and barreled now to start the wine process. Growers have learned to adapt processes to heat and drought. 2022's hot, dry weather and fires prevented vines from getting diseases like mildew and may even produce great wine quality soon, despite some lower grape yields. That's a look at some of your big headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife. When they find her, she was with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered from a cut to his neck, and they say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. Authorities respond yesterday afternoon to a tractor-trailer fire along I-49 near the Bella Vista bypass. They say the semi had become fully engulfed in flames, where it then spread across both southbound lanes. Traffic along I-49 was completely stopped and diverted to US 71. The tractor-trailer was carrying cardboard. Missouri Southern is beginning its second week of the school year, and since President Biden announced the student debt relief plan last week, the school says it's getting inquiries from students trying to find how they can benefit from it. And while students could begin seeing some relief, drivers are seeing it as well. Gas prices continue to drop around the 4 states and the nation. The national average for a gallon of regular fell below $4 early this month, and it's been falling ever since. In Jasper County, the average is $3.26 per gallon. In Newton County, it's $3.33, and in Ottawa County, it's $3.44. In Crawford, it's sitting at $3.43. According to AAA, the average for all of Missouri is now $3.45. In Oklahoma, it's at $3.46, and in Kansas, $3.53. Top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
If you're heading out the door, getting ready to hit the road for your morning commute, be aware there is some dense fog, especially in Barton County, that you need to be aware of. So make sure you are planning your trip accordingly. Right now at 7th and Range Line, temperatures look pretty good. Skies are clear otherwise, despite the fog. 68 degrees. As we start the day, we still have a couple of warm spots in Chanute and Welch at 71, 67 in Iola, 68 in Pittsburgh, and 65 in Monette. As the kids get on the bus this morning around 7 a.m., we're going to have mostly cloudy skies as the fog burns off, 66. When that bus brings them back home about 3, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and 88. We're heading for a hot day today as well. Temperatures will gradually warm up, 83 by noon, 89 by 5. Ultimate high of 93 under partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies are the theme as we head into tonight. 73 by 11, 69 at 2 a.m. with an overnight low of 65 degrees. Quick check of the future track shows where we are going to remain dry, but partly cloudy for the next couple of days. And as we head into Thursday evening, you can see more shower and thunderstorm activity building in. And it's scattered, but it hangs out into Friday and even into Saturday before it eventually clears out on Sunday, which we'll see on the 7-day forecast. We're still going to be hot, though, despite the rain. And by Saturday, it should start to clear out. 90 Saturday, 90 on Sunday under partly cloudy skies. So at least the last couple of days of Labor Day weekend are looking pretty decent, with overnight lows hovering just below the 70-degree mark for most of the nights ahead. More of the KOAM Morning News is just ahead.
A young archaeologist is being hailed for the find of a lifetime.
The 8-year-old unearthed a prehistoric shark tooth while on vacation with his family. And Shannon has the story.
This is a Mako. Riley Gracely and his family have collected hundreds of shark teeth during their annual visit to Palmetto Fossil Excursions in South Carolina. And while his family has found some impressive artifacts, Riley was still on the lookout.
When this year came along, he's thinking, okay, it's my turn. I got to get something this time.
He did.
I just looked on top and it was just laying down.
Riley spotted this fossilized shark tooth stuck in a pile of dirt.
As soon as I see it and I really like it, I'm like, I'm not gonna wait till everybody comes around just to pick it up and walk away with it.
He immediately showed it off to his family.
Should I do it like this or this way?
The tooth measures in at more than 4 3/4 inches. A giant tooth that belonged to a pretty large and very, very old shark.
But this particular species, I think it predates the megalodon. It's called an Angustiidens.
The tooth is identified by the matching cusps on each side. It's likely worth a couple $1,000s. It's being called the find of a lifetime. But Riley says he's not done yet.
I want to go back to find more big teeth so I can add them to my collection.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that is the only. I've never, discovered anything cool. I guess the coolest thing I discovered is the remains of a dead pig under my childhood home when we replaced the living room floor. It was an older house, had a crawl space. We had to replace part of the living room floor, and there were some animal remains under the house.
Was it like a pot-bellied pig, or?
Well, it's weird. We had and this is the thing. This is
Somehow
in
it
the
got
heart of
under
the
there.
city.
Yeah.
This is in the heart of the city, and we had a neighbor that had a pig. And from what I heard, it went missing, and I believe I found it. So.
We'll be right back with another check of your forecast.
All right, here's what we're looking at over the next few days across the 4 states. Sky is gradually going to clear out today. We'll have partly cloudy skies. We're going to get hot, and we're going to remain dry through at least the middle of the week. And then we're watching storm chances that are going to start building in by Thursday. So let's talk about all of it. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear in our area. Our weather system has since moved on to the east, and that's where it's dumping more rain. What it left us with now, though, is some fog across the area. So if you're driving out there, do be cautious, because there's some spots with some patchy, dense fog. 7th and range line, skies are clear otherwise. Temperature sitting at 68 in Joplin, which is much nicer than what we were yesterday. We've got Chanute and Welch still are the warm spots at 71 degrees, 69 in Independence, 68 in Pittsburgh, and 67 in Carthage. As kids get on the bus around 3 o'clock, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies as the fog starts to burn off, 66. And then when the bus brings them home, a little bit hotter, partly cloudy skies, and 88. As we go through the day, we got a high of about 93 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies hold on through the evening. 65 for the overnight low, so still not too bad. Quick check of the future track shows where we do stay high and dry for the next couple of days, and it's by Thursday evening that storm chances start to build back in, which you can see on the 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend. But we do get a couple of dry days for the Labor Day holiday. More of the KOAM Morning News after this.
Coming up, authorities arrest a woman suspected of stabbing a man at an apartment complex in Lamar.
Skywatch Storm Tracker clear here as our storm system moves on to the east, but there's more rain on the way. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
And students in the 4-state area have a lot to learn this year, including if they can benefit from the recent news of loan debt relief.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. I was out of control. I was driving back over here and just hit a wet patch on the floor and it spun out. It was crazy.
Did you pee on the floor?
There's a small chance. Like you said, we're on for 3 hours straight. You know, and there's not a I've advocated for a porta-john behind the set.
It's not that far to the bathroom.
When you've only got 2 minutes, it's far enough. I mean, it's a jog down there. Okay, I was going to say who's jogging at this hour, but there are plenty of people jogging. Just not me.
Oh, I forgot. Your private bathroom is on the 87th floor.
And there's no elevator either. A lot of stairs. A lot of stairs to get there. So I guess, it's whatever. I've advocated for a porta-john. They just won't install it, so I don't know what to do.
But he did insist that he get an office on the 87th floor, and he got that, so.
I did get that, and that was pretty nice. I mean, I got to climb a very large ladder to get up there.
They told you that the elevator would be fixed eventually.
One of these days. One of these days. You know what else has been fixed?
The Futurecast.
Yeah, that was fixed, that's for sure. I still can't believe it was running backwards. That was great. So that storm system moving on out. We got some fog to deal with. It's a patchy, dense fog as well, so do make sure you plan your commute accordingly. 7th and range line is otherwise clear under nice skies. I'm getting backwards here. 68 degrees is the temperature in Joplin right now. We've got 70 in Chanute, 69 in Welch, 69 in Columbus, and 68 down in the Oshos. Kids get on the bus about 7 a.m. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies, 66. And then when that bus comes and brings them back around 388 under partly cloudy skies. Now for today, we're heading for a high of 93, so it's going to be a hot one under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Partly cloudy skies through the night tonight, 73 at 11, 69 by 2, and an overnight low of 65. Now we do have warmer temperatures on the way, only slightly warmer, and we have rain chances on the way as well. So we're going to talk about all of that with the correct, proper future track running into the future here in a few minutes.
All right, sounds like we got a lot to talk about then.
It's still a decent week in the weather office at least. There's a little more in the forecast than just hot, hot, hot.
All right, we'll get to it. All right, moving along. Police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife and then find her with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered a cut to his neck, and they say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. Authorities respond to a tractor-trailer fire along I-49 near the Bella Vista bypass. They say the tractor-trailer became fully engulfed in flames where it then spread across both southbound lanes. Traffic along I-49 was completely stopped on Monday afternoon and diverted to US 71. The tractor trailer was carrying cardboard. Missouri Southern begins its second week of the school year, and since President Biden announced the student debt relief plan last week, the school says it's getting inquiries from students trying to find how they can benefit from it.
I mean, for me, I'm going to be a doctor, so I think we're missing out on a lot of our future doctors, future nurses, fill in the blank, just because they can't hack student loans.
For more information on the student debt relief plan, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And later in the show, our own Jalen Banks takes us to the MSSU campus to talk to students about how this news could affect them. Nevada's Senior Behavioral Health Center reopens after 2 years of being closed. Nevada is one of a few senior psychiatric centers in the state of Missouri. The center says with 8 new beds and cameras, they're ready to keep safety the #1 priority. And they specialize in patients 55 and older.
We were reopening, I think, after about 2 years of being closed down. We ran into some difficulties with a number of factors, but mostly with staffing around the period of time when COVID came along.
The center will start taking patients September 1st. Monday saw the return of the Little Balkans Days. It's a week-long celebration in Pittsburgh to celebrate the region's diverse cultural and ethnic heritage. Events every night, from lots of music, tons of food, and dancing are just to name a few events happening. Also, Friday night is a senior Queen and King pageant.
The festival was started in 1985 by a group of volunteers that wanted to celebrate the cultural and immigrant heritage of the area, celebrate our coal mining history because it's been a large part of how this community was founded and created. And so we do that this year with lots of fun, lots of live music, tons of food, and we literally have something for everybody.
Little Balkans Days ends on Sunday, September 4th. There are several ethnic foods that also tell some history. On Monday, people could learn how to cook some of that food through the Little Balkans Cooking School. It was a hands-on experience with samples and recipes included.
So this is the 37th year of the festival. It started back in 1984 in the planning phases, and 1985 was the first year, and it's to celebrate the cultural and ethnic heritage of the immigrant community and coal mining community here in southeast Kansas.
Cooking School organizers hope to make this an annual event during the Little Balkans Days. On this date, back in 1967, Thurgood Marshall becomes the first African American to be confirmed as a Supreme Court justice.
Following the retirement of Justice Tom Clark in 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed Marshall to the Supreme Court, a decision confirmed by the Senate with a 69-11 vote. During his time on the Supreme Court, Justice Marshall came out in favor of abortion rights and against the death penalty as he continued his tireless commitment to ensuring equitable treatment of individuals, particularly minorities, by state and federal governments. He'd remained on the Supreme Court for 24 years before retiring for health reasons. Justice Marshall passed away in 1993. Absolutely an impressive career for him as well.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Important day in history for sure.
Yes. Temperatures not going to be too cool. They're not going to be too hot, but they'll be hot compared to what we've seen as well. As you can see, we get partly cloudy skies that hang out with us for today and into tomorrow, and it starts to warm up a bit. And as we head into Thursday evening, we are watching more shower and thunderstorm activity start to roll in. It's scattered, but it hangs out with us Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday before it finally starts to clear out, leaving us with partly cloudy skies on Sunday. So we got 93 tomorrow. We got the 90s going into the weekend. The nice thing is that we at least get 2 good days of the Labor Day weekend where it's going to be hot, but it'll be clear and not bad to get outside and enjoy at least 2 of the 3 days of the weekend.
Okay, well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we've got Kelsey Keeney from the SCK Humane Society in studio to tell us about pet adoptions, a special event coming up this weekend, and she's bringing us a special guest. You just might remember this one.
Plus, health professionals issue a warning to pregnant women about exposure to dangerous chemicals found in certain products.
And a gunman clad in tactical gear and armed with a semi-automatic rifle kills 2 and injures 5 others in a shooting spree in Phoenix on Sunday. We'll have the latest there. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning. Authorities say a 13-year-old in California is in stable condition after being shot by a fellow student on Monday. It happened at Madison Park Academy in Oakland. The suspect is in custody. Police are still investigating the circumstances of the shooting and motive. Oakland's police chief called for a stronger effort to control gun violence in the city, citing multiple shootings and other incidents at schools and playgrounds. Chief was speaking at a previously scheduled press conference slated to address recent shootings. Those shootings included 6 homicides in the span of 4 days. Arizona police say the gunman in Sunday's deadly shooting spree was armed with a semi-automatic rifle and wearing tactical gear. 2 people were killed and 5 others were injured, including 2 officers in Phoenix. The shooter also had incendiary devices, extra magazines, and a gas mask. Amy Cutler spoke to one of the injured victims.
That's sad.
Wesley Williams is still trying to make sense of it all, how a night at the Days Inn with his adult son and 6-year-old daughter changed in a matter of seconds.
I heard what I thought were firecrackers in the hallway. I went out to investigate, see what it was, and the hallway comes down a little and turns. Once I got around the corner and maybe 3 foot into the area, started shooting through the door and I got hit.
Williams showed me the injuries. Beneath that cut and bruise is a bullet. Another bullet also grazed his arm.
When I first got shot, I went back in and woke him up, my son up, had him call 911 and got my 6-year-old put down in the corner.
I was sleeping, I woke up, my dad was saying, call 911, I just got shot. And by that time I started hearing more gunshots down the hallway.
Surveillance video reportedly shows the gunman, 24-year-old Isaiah Williams, leaving a room at a motel in the area armed with a semi-automatic rifle, a ballistic vest, helmet, gas mask, and knee pads, and going on a shooting spree. He fired into the motel, then at a car pulling into a parking spot. A man and woman inside were killed. Authorities say he opened fire on several police cruisers. 1 officer struck in the shoulder, a 2nd officer injured by shrapnel.
I don't know what makes people do things like that.
In all, police confirm 5 people were injured. The shooter also reportedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at the nearby Waffle House. Police say the shooter was found dead in the parking lot and took his own life. Along with the rifle, he had several magazines and incendiary devices.
Hurts, but it's not that bad, I guess. Could be worse. I'm not dead.
Authorities haven't yet released the names of the victims. 1 officer remains hospitalized in stable condition. The other injured victims have been released. That's a look at today's top national stories. We're back right after this. But first, a quick check of the forecast, which you can see. It's looking pretty good, 7th and range line. Dealing with some fog, but otherwise not bad. 68 degrees is temperature right now. 70 in Chanute, 66 in Parsons, 68 in Neosho and Anderson. As kids get on the bus, about 7 a.m., not too bad. 66 degrees as they get on there. And when the bus turns around, the skies clear up just a little bit. We're looking at partly cloudy skies and 88 at 3 o'clock. And as we go through the day, it's going to be a hot one. Afternoon high pushing 93, 83 by noon, 89 by 5 under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Partly cloudy again tonight. Overnight low of 65. We're at 73 at 11, 69 by 2 a.m. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast shows it's going to be 93 tomorrow. And then we have increasing rain chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Clears out late Saturday into Sunday. And then we have at least a couple of good days in the upcoming Labor Day weekend. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back. We've got a couple of special guests in studio this morning from the SEK Humane Society, of course. Kelsey Keeney joining us, and an old friend. We have Betty back in the house. Thank you for joining us, both of you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Tell us a little bit about Betty.
Yeah, so she is a 9-year-old black lab mix. She is one of our elder dogs, but it's very hard to tell with how much energy she has this morning. She does fine in a home with kids. She's been to multiple events with small children and does well with them. She just needs to go to a home where there's no other animals so she can get all of the attention.
Yes, she does require a little bit of attention. I've noticed that this morning. But knows her commands really well, too. I've told her to sit and turn around. And
oh, yeah.
Very well-behaved dog. Very happy dog, for sure.
Very smart. She only wants to listen to everybody else this morning, not me for some reason. But she does know how to sit on command and shake her paw and apparently turn around, which we just learned.
That was pretty awesome. All right, maybe we can get a good shot here of Betty. How do you guys come up with the names for the dogs that you have?
Well, for dogs, we try to go with more like human names for them. And so like usually we get some in that have been like returned or they were already in a household with a name that they grew up with. And usually we'll just stick with that since they know it and know some commands with that. But for all others, we just kind of like make it a fun game and see who comes up with the best, like funniest name.
Yeah. Recently we sent our reporter Yana out to visit with the new beagles that you guys have.
Oh yeah.
She was telling us about the names that you guys gave them too, so that's pretty cool. You guys have a big adoption event coming up this Sunday, part of the Little Balkans Day Festival.
Yes. So we are going to be at Little Balkans, I believe at Lakeside from 1 to 5, and we're going to bring 2 to 3 dogs there, and they will have no adoption fees, so their fees will be waived, and they just need to look for their forever home, so hopefully we can find them there.
Let's talk about the adoption process. If you were to go out there, first of all, when are you guys open, and do you need an appointment or?
Yes, so during the week we're by appointment only, but on the weekends we're open Saturdays noon to 4 and then Sundays 1 to 4.
All right. And say you did find the pet that you want to give a forever home to. Do you need to bring certain paperwork or?
Yes, so we do require you to bring proof of vaccinations if you have other animals in the household. And then if you have other dogs and you're trying to get another dog, we do require a meet and greet. So you bring yours out to meet the shelter dog of your choice, and we just see how they do first before sending them home.
Okay. And then you can take your doggy home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, we'd love to have you stick around for our Fox show.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Can you stick around? Will you behave for us, Betty? Of course. Yes, that was the answer we needed. All right, we will be right back. Because that was like pulling teeth. She just didn't want to
This morning, a new study reveals widespread hospital use of monoclonal antibodies to fight COVID-19 after the FDA deauthorized use of the treatments in January. Researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center say more than 158,000 doses of the laboratory treatments were administered, even though the FDA determined they provided little or no benefits in the battle against the deadly coronavirus. A warning from health professionals that pregnant women are being exposed to chemicals that can cause cancer and harm to child development. Researchers with the University of California, San Francisco say the toxic chemicals are found in hair coloring, plastics, and pesticides. Nearly all women in the study showed traces of melamine and cyanuric acid, but women of color and those with the greatest exposure to tobacco had the highest levels. And drinking black tea could help you live longer. Researchers at National Institutes of Health found people who drank 2 or more cups of black tea per day had a 9 to 13% lower risk of death. They say the findings suggest that drinking tea, even at higher levels, can be a part of a healthy diet. That is a check of some of today's top health stories. Now, here's a check of today's top forecast. We're looking at skies that will gradually clear out today, and then we're going to be hot but dry through at least the middle of the week before thunderstorm chances start to build back in by Thursday. So let's take a look at everything. Skywatch Storm Tracker has nothing in our area, but it was really lit up yesterday afternoon especially. All of that moving out to the east and nothing that we need to actually worry about now. The only thing we have to worry about right now is some fog, and there's some patchy, dense fog, which this is actually almost in the shape of a shark. Pretty interesting how that works. But we are looking at some patchy, dense fog, so if you are out driving, do plan accordingly. In fact, you can see some of that fog starting to lift off just a little bit at 7th and Range Line. It is 68 degrees in Joplin right now under otherwise clear skies with a calm breeze. We had 70 in Chanute, still one of the warmer spots, 67 Parsons, 68 Miami, and 65 down in Monette. Now, as kids get on the bus this morning, which they will do here before too much longer, 66 under mostly cloudy skies at 7 a.m. with a light northeast breeze. Light northeast breeze continues into the afternoon, 88 and partly cloudy when they get off the bus around 3. And we are heading for a hot day today compared to what we've seen. 83 by noon, 89 at 5, 93 under partly cloudy skies. Going into tonight, we're going to be cooling off gradually, 73 at 11, 69 by 2 a.m. with an overnight low of 65 under partly cloudy skies. Looking at the future track, we go into the rest of into tomorrow, rather, and we get partly cloudy skies again, but as you can see, it starts to get a little bit on the hot side. And then we're watching Thursday evening, more showers and thunderstorms start to build in, and they'll hang on through Friday and even into Saturday. So even though we're going to have some scattered storms, it's also still going to get hot. And then by Sunday early morning, we'll start to clear out with just some partly cloudy skies left behind. 93 for tomorrow, 92 on Thursday, 95 on Friday, and the rain does bring the temperatures down a little bit. And then the last couple of days of the 3-day Labor Day weekend are looking pretty decent. Hot, but otherwise pretty decent. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, authorities arrest a woman suspected of stabbing a man at an apartment complex in Lamar.
We're dealing with some pretty foggy conditions to start the day, so you definitely want to plan accordingly for your morning commute. However, the fog will burn off and there's more rain on the way, the latest coming up.
And students in the 4 states have a lot to learn this year, including if they can benefit from the recent news of loan debt relief.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:28. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we had Mother Nature just kind of giving us a shock and awe campaign yesterday with some of that thunder and that lightning, because I tell you what, that was that storm that rolled through Joplin and Newton McDonald counties yesterday. There was a lot of electrical activity with that. I mean, there were lightning strikes, it seemed, every few seconds.
Well, I heard it rained a lot down there. In the afternoon, it rained a ton in the Pittsburgh area. I have friends that live in Baxter Springs, and they said it sprinkled there.
It's just kind of split. And
yeah.
that's unusual, because, I mean, I've lived in Joplin my whole life, and usually it splits right at Joplin. I mean, I have literally watched the radar.
On I-44.
Yeah, it comes up the I-44 corridor, and then when it gets close to Joplin, it splits or it fizzles out. So it was a very fun experience. I mean, if you were outdoors, I hope you got indoors, because lightning, of course, is one of nature's deadliest forces, and you do not want to be outside during that. This morning, we have some dense fog to deal with. It's not too bad. It's slowly starting to burn off, but if you are out driving, you do want to be cautious. Make sure you're taking appropriate precautions. Clear skies in Joplin, 68 degrees as we start this day. It's about 12 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. 70 at Chanute, still one of the warm spots. 68 Miami, 69 in Anderson, and 67 in Carthage to start the day. When kids get on the bus at 7 a.m., about 30 minutes from now, we're looking at 66 under mostly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies for the ride home, around 388 should be the temperature. We're heading for an afternoon high today, about 93 degrees under partly cloudy skies. And going into tonight, a gradual cool down. We're looking at 73 by 11, 69 by 2, with an overnight low of 65. We do have some warm temperatures on the way. We also have some rain on the way. So we're going to talk about all of that here in just a few minutes.
All right. Sounds like a plan. We got a lot to talk about. More rain for sure.
Yeah, more rain is on the way.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife and then find her with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered from a cut to his neck. They say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. While students could begin seeing some relief, drivers are seeing it as well. Gas prices continue to drop around the 4 states and the nation. National average for a gallon of regular fell below $4 earlier this month, and it's been falling ever since. In Jasper County, the average is $3.26 per gallon. In Newton County, it's $3.33. In Ottawa County, it's $3.44. In Crawford, it's $3.43. Now, according to AAA, the average for all of Missouri is now $3.45. In Oklahoma, it's sitting at $3.46. In Kansas, the average $3.53. Nevada's Senior Behavioral Health Center reopens after 2 years of being closed. Nevada is one of a few senior psychiatric centers in the state of Missouri. The center says with 8 new beds and cameras, they're ready to keep safety the #1 priority, and they specialize in patients ages 55 and older.
It's a tempo of care that I personally enjoy, and I know other staff here does as well, but just being able to provide psychiatric care for that population has always been something that I've believed in. There's a need for, and so we're trying to extend that care for those patients.
The center will start taking patients September 1st. Now, I mentioned that students would be saving soon. That's right. Students across the nation are expecting relief on their student loans following President Biden's announcement on loan forgiveness. KOAM's Jalen Banks looks at how that can impact students at Missouri Southern.
In the middle of the opening school week, President Biden announced a new plan that can be impacting students at Missouri Southern State moving forward. Last week, President Biden announced the student debt reduction plan that would allow people that make less than $125,000 eligible for $10,000 in student loan relief. Students on Pell Grant would be eligible for additional $10,000.
Well, it certainly gives our students an opportunity to reduce the amount of debt that they have, maybe accumulated this far, or even former students that are struggling with how they're going to make repayment in the long term in their life. So it's an opportunity for us to help make sure they know that this is a possibility. And
one student feels debt has forced some from pursuing certain careers.
I mean, for me, I'm going to be a doctor, so I think we're missing out on a lot of our future doctors, future nurses, fill in the blank, just because they can't hack student loans. So
he also says he sees how this could be impactful for students moving forward.
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it. Obviously, I'm just a student. I don't know a ton about politics, but I mean, at least on the face, it sounds good. And I mean, you're helping a group of people who really need it and who are going to benefit from it the rest of their lives. So,
in Joplin at Missouri Southern State University, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
The Department of Education encourages people to apply for the relief by November 15th. On this date in 1983, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Gwynn S. Bluford becomes the first African American to travel into space when the Space Shuttle Challenger lifts off on its 3rd mission. Gwynn Stewart Bluford was born in Philadelphia in 1942. In 1964, he graduated from Penn State with a degree in aerospace engineering. From there, he entered the U.S. Air Force and graduated with his pilot wings in 1965. In the 70s, Bluford went on to receive a master's degree and doctorate in aerospace engineering from the Air Force Institute of Technology. In 1979, he was accepted in the U.S. astronaut program and made his first flight in 1983 as a mission specialist on the 8th shuttle mission. He later flew 3 more shuttle missions, logging a total of 700 hours in orbit. That's impressive.
That is a lot of hours in orbit, and that's, again, another impressive career. But I mean, I can't imagine taking off and going, taking off and landing as many times as he did in those space shuttles.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be intense. How do you get used to that?
Well, probably after the 4th or 5th time you
get to be old hat at shuttle missions. Quick check of the forecast. I promised to look at the future track. So as we head into tomorrow, we have another nice start to the day. It starts to get hot, partly cloudy skies. And as we move into Thursday, we're watching increasing thunderstorm chances. Scattered storms hold on Thursday into Friday and into Saturday. But they're scattered, so it's not a complete full washout. They'll eventually clear out of here by Sunday morning, leaving us with partly cloudy skies and hot conditions. And on the 7-day, you can see those rain chances, and will eventually clear out and at least give us 2 of 3 decent days for the Labor Day weekend.
All right, sounds good. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, higher education meeting the needs of a greener future.
For the future, I'm Natalie Brand at Howard University in Washington, D.C., where students are learning architectural design to make a dent in climate change.
Plus, fashion trends come and go, but nothing beats a favorite pair of shoes. We want to know what your favorite type of shoe is as you slip into today's topic of discussion. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, new incentives to go green are linked to the Inflation Reduction Act signed into law this month. And as it turns out, large buildings are some of the biggest emitters of greenhouse gas. Natalie Brand shows us how future architects at Howard University in Washington, D.C. hope to shrink the size of those carbon footprints.
Howard University is teaching the next generation of architects how to design buildings with climate and the environment at their core.
They are in a very supersonic state. I mean, they don't have any time to relax.
Professor Nia Malou launched a first-of-its-kind class to teach strategies on decarbonizing buildings, which account for around 40% of carbon emissions from lighting to heating and cooling.
If we can find ways to mitigate that through design, that's something that we should explore.
Darian Jacobs, in his final year of the architecture program, says building green starts with sustainable and efficient materials. He used math and computer modeling to show us the difference going green could make.
If we utilize all of those practices, which we want to, that would lead to a drastic amount of reduction.
Howard is not just teaching the concepts, but putting them into practice with its new construction, like the school's LEED Gold certified interdisciplinary research building.
All these little elements, the building glazing, the way that the building performs from an energy perspective, but also, down to the material selections and choices.
Derek Neese-Williams graduated from the school's architecture program and now serves as executive director of campus planning.
Buildings have one of the largest impacts on carbon footprint and on energy consumption. The way that we design these buildings, the way that, the buildings serve us, need to also serve our future generations.
Educators hope new federal incentives help accelerate green design.
The building can outlast man, so it needs to be built well.
And built to protect the planet's future. Professor Malou says her students will be ready. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The recently passed Inflation Reduction Act includes billions of dollars in funding to accelerate federal investment in low-carbon buildings and transportation projects, as well as incentives for homeowners to make their homes more energy efficient. That's it for Consumer Watch. Let's go over to Chris for our something to talk about.
Well, this morning we're discussing shoes. Look out, flats and sneakers. See, high heels, they're making a comeback, as that signature click-clack noise is once again echoing throughout offices and streets nationwide, signaling a move away from the era of comfort clothes ushered in by the pandemic. With COVID-19 restrictions coming to an end, people are going back to the office, and of course there's some postponed events that are making their way back to your calendar. Data collected by market research company NPD Group highlights the rebounding sales. But if you think going back to high heels mean you have to sacrifice comfort, retail directors say there's plenty of alternatives. Brings us to our something to talk about. What kind of shoe is your favorite? Sneakers, flats, high heels, boots, maybe something else? 40% of you saying sneakers, 17% of you saying flats, 13% saying high heels, 17% saying boots, and 13% of you saying you like something else. Make sure you vote through our website. You can do so through the app, and of course take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Well, it's time to put on your party hat and get ready to celebrate some birthdays and anniversaries. But first, there's no need to hitch a ride. We're going to take you to NYC virtually to find out what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Super Bowl winning coach Bruce Arians joins us. We'll ask him what's it like working with Tom Brady and the wake-up call that he got about his health. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
But first, we got to check in the forecast. So take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Nothing here locally. All of our rain and thunderstorm activities moved on off to the east, so we don't have to deal with that for now. What we are dealing with, you can see these darker grays in parts of Cherokee and Crawford County and even stretching up into Vernon County. We're looking at some dense fog out there, so if you're traveling, make sure you're taking appropriate precautions. Drive slowly, put your fog lights on. Otherwise, take a look. We got the sun slowly starting to rise. You can see the fog off in the distance from 7th and Range line. And we have a pretty nice start to the day. We are about 12 degrees cooler now than we were at this time yesterday. 68 in Joplin under clear skies. And we're still holding on Chanute. They did not want to let go of the #1 spot of the warmest location at 70 degrees. We got 69 Yates Center, 67 in Iola, 68 in Lamar, and 66 in Nevada. Kids should be getting on the bus here anytime now if they haven't already. And by 7 a.m., mostly cloudy, 66. And that mostly cloudy is coming from burning fog, so don't worry about it. Partly cloudy skies by 3 o'clock and 88 degrees. As we go through the day, it's going to be a hot one. 83 by noon, 89 by 5, high of 93 under partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. 73 by 11, 69 by 2 with a low of 65 degrees. The future track showing us also where we're going to have some partly cloudy skies heading into tomorrow, and it's going to be hot again. And partly cloudy skies Thursday before more shower and thunderstorm activity builds in. Scattered storms hold on Thursday into Friday into Saturday. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast shows where those storms should kick out of here by Sunday morning, and they'll at least have a couple of decent but hot days to wrap up the Labor Day weekend. We're back right after this.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Specialist Jackie Gurley. The Galena, Kansas native served from 1963 to 1965 as a communications specialist, part of the 3rd Corps 25th Artillery. This decorated veteran earned numerous awards, including the Expert Rifleman's Medal, the Wheeled Vehicles Driver Badge, and the Good Conduct Badge. To Specialist Jackie Gurley, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, it's Tuesday, time to celebrate some more birthdays on this glorious morning. And we begin in Fort Scott with Rocky Newton turning 1 today, celebrating the big number 1. Rocky, happy birthday to you.
Ella Marie Cohen celebrating birthday number 3 this year. Ella Marie is in Parsons with love from the family.
And we've got some twins celebrating. So we've got Jaden Pierce turning 14 in Altoona, and we also have her twin sister Janice Pierce turning 14, also of course in Altoona. A very happy double birthday to you, Jaden and Janice.
All right, in Redfield, Kansas, Gavin Hickson celebrating birthday number 18 this year.
And we've got Ashlyn Griffberg turning 24, and this comes with love from Mom, Gabe, and Charlie.
All right, and Florley No celebrating birthday number 38 this year. If you're wondering what she's holding there, she's pictured receiving the American Citizenship Certificate. Congratulations to you, Florley, and happy birthday.
All right, we've got Alicia Rives turning 47 in Jasper. I'm skipping a bit on the list. Alicia Rives turning 47 in Jasper. Happy birthday to you, Alicia.
Ashley Epler celebrating another year wiser and looking great there, Ashley, in Columbus.
And we've got Larry and Sheila Harris celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary in Jasper. Enjoy your anniversary and make it a big one.
All right, Tammy Snyder celebrating a birthday in Webb City. Colby Monty in Hepler, Kansas. Understand he works at Midwest Fertilizer in Girard, and all your coworkers there are wishing you happy birthday. And if Colby's celebrating, then Crew Monty is celebrating as well. That's his son, 2 years old, also in Hepler.
And of course, we've got Braylon Rutherford turning 11 in Iola. Braylon, a very happy birthday to you.
Right, if you have a birthday or an anniversary, you can submit them to us through email at birthdayswithans@KOAMTV.com, or you can send them to birthdays@KOAMNewsNow.com.
And of course, while you're there, why not take a moment to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club? Because when you do that, you get some awesome deals from local businesses, and it's so simple. Just go to KOAMNewsNow.com and sign up for the Birthday Club. All right. Let's take a look at the forecast. Look at this sunrise. It is looking great. Still have the fog in the distance, so if you're out driving, do be cautious. 68 degrees under otherwise clear skies. We're looking pretty good across the area as well. 68 Fredonia, 66 in Independence, 68 Columbus, and 67 to start the day in Carthage. Kids will be boarding the bus any minute now. 66 at 7 a.m. under partly to mostly cloudy skies, the light northeast breeze as they get home around 3. 88 degrees with partly cloudy skies as well. We're heading for a hot one today. It's going to get toasty. 83 by noon, 89 by 5, 93 for the afternoon high under partly cloudy skies. More partly cloudy skies tonight, 73 at 11, 69 at 2 with an overnight low of 65. The future track If you missed it in the 5 o'clock hour, it was running backwards for some reason. I do not know why. But now it's moving forward like it's supposed to. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, a hot one, 93, 95 for afternoon highs. It's going to be toasty. And it's going to be toasty again on Thursday. But as you can see, by Thursday evening, we're watching scattered showers and thunderstorms working into the area. And those scattered storms hold on into Friday, and they hold on into Saturday as well. In fact, they hold on into early Sunday morning before they eventually move out of here and leave us with partly cloudy skies and another warm one. So you can see here where temperatures are going to get toasty. Not too bad though. I mean, considering where we are, it's not bad for this time of year. And then we do get Sunday and Monday. It's going to be hot, but we'll have partly cloudy skies so you can enjoy the last couple of days of the Labor Day weekend. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News, including a check of the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police arrest a woman suspected of assaulting a man with a knife, and when they found her, she was with a stolen car. Authorities say Chloe Crow of Lamar assaulted the man at the Divine Estates apartment complex in Lamar. The victim suffered a cut to his neck. They say he did not know the suspect. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Crow is charged with first-degree assault and first-degree vehicle tampering. Authorities responded yesterday afternoon to a tractor-trailer fire along I-49 near the Bella Vista bypass. They say the semi became fully engulfed in flames, where it then spread across both southbound lanes. Traffic along I-49 was completely stopped and then diverted to US 71. The tractor-trailer was carrying cardboard. Missouri Southern is beginning its second week of the school year, and since President Biden announced the student debt relief plan last week, the school says it's getting inquiries from students who are trying to find out how they can benefit from it. And while students could begin seeing some relief soon, drivers are seeing it as well. Gas prices continue to drop around the 4 states and the nation. The national average for a gallon of regular fell below $4 early this month, and it's been falling ever since. In Jasper County, the average is $3.26 per gallon. In Newton County, it's $3.33. In Ottawa County, it's $3.44. In Crawford County, it's at $3.43. According to AAA, the average for all of Missouri is now $3.45. In Oklahoma, it sits at $3.46. And in Kansas, the average is at $3.53. So check out today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, forecast as you head out the door. We're going to have partly cloudy skies. We've got a hot one lined up for us. 83 at noon, 89 at 5, 81 by 8 with a high of 93. Partly cloudy skies. Hang on through the overnight as we get to 73 by 11, 69 by 2 a.m. and an overnight low of 65. The future track does show where we have some partly cloudy skies as we head into tomorrow. It's going to be a hot one, though. And then partly cloudy skies persist into Thursday, becoming mostly cloudy ahead of additional showers and thunderstorms as we start to wrap up the week. Scattered showers and thunderstorms hold on through Friday into Saturday and then again into early Sunday morning. And they'll eventually clear on out of here, which will be nice because that means we get a couple of good days in the Labor Day weekend. We're looking at hot temperatures all the way through, but then we get to partly cloudy skies by the time we hit Sunday and Monday. So not bad overall, and I know we've got some really exciting stuff coming up on the KOAM News at Noon involving Mr. Food. Certainly a good recipe that you're going to tell us about.
That's right. Coming up today at noon, we're making a loaded baked potato salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
My wife loves baked potatoes. She loves her loaded baked potatoes, and that sounds like something that she might enjoy. So yeah. I hope she's watching. I hope she tunes in at noon to see how to make this. Your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Up next, NASA looking for answers to what forced an Artemis 1 launch delay. Coming up next, how the agency is working against the clock to make its rescheduled liftoff, which is Friday, by the way.
That's right. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Kelsey Keeney lets the dogs in. Well, one dog at least. When she and Betty head back into the studio to tell us more about how you can adopt a furry friend. And we're going to find out more about a couple of other dogs named Asher, Eden, Lula, Hopper, and Mr. Chicken, all at the SEK Humane Society.
Hopefully that's more than a couple, because otherwise those are some dogs with very long, interesting names.
Okay, so maybe at least 5.
4 or 5 dogs. Plus, the U.S. Open just got underway, and the hard court tournament sets the stage for the retirement of Serena Williams, arguably one of the greatest athletes of all time. That's it for us for now. We'll see you at 7 over on Fox 14 and again 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.